are some of your favourite offers out there at the moment in regards to lenders?
We always love AMP. So AMP have got some really cool offers, cheap interest rates. So they've got, I think they should watch the 𝐁𝐫𝐤𝐤 video. So 514 was their owner occ P&I variable, which is a great rate. One of the interesting things about AMP is, though, if you actually use the equity in your own home to refinance investment debt, they will give you owner-occupier rates as well. So that's a top tip for young players. There you go. The other one I've got in here is 𝐖𝐢𝐭𝐡. We always like 𝐖𝐢𝐭𝐡. They've got an investor loan, 549 P&I, and they've also cashback with that, which is pretty cool. And then the other one, which is the old Qantas credit union, which is called Kudos now. They had a 499 no frills product, which is crazy cheap, right?
The RBA, those cheeky little things. Let's start with them.
Yeah, well, we got a surprise, didn't we? I think, it's one of those things where don't believe all the media hype, and the increase in interest rates was a bit of a shock, I think, to everyone. The economists weren't really predicting it, and the media were saying, we're at the top of that interest rate cycle now. Obviously, we're not. So the concerns with the Reserve Bank is still inflation, and the inflation rate is up there. The band which the RBA look at it is a 2 to 3% band, so we're way higher than that band. So they're still wanting to do a little bit of work to slow down the inflation there. And what that means for us, probably the next 2 months, we're probably got another 0.25% interest increase, I think. And then I hope that's the end of the cycle. So, for me, getting to the end of June and maybe one more 0.25%, I think that's it. Interestingly, in the States, the inflation figure came down extremely quickly over there. So inflation, hopefully will follow suit locally here. So, some better news there. And then next year, the forecast is that interest rates do fall. So, short-term pain, I think, right now. But hopefully, we get back on track next year and it's a bit easier for us anyway, yeah?
Yeah, so hang on. We're nearly out of it. The lender interest rates at the moment, what's happening there?
Yeah, so that's interesting. So we've gone through a really sort of tight cycle of volumes in the system, and what that's meant is that a lot of lenders, they're fighting for these prime loans. They're offering cashback to refinance. They're offering heavily discounted rates. The retention teams are massively out in force right now and stopping people from moving by matching or improving offers which have been made to them by brokers or the lenders. Also matching cashbacks if you stay, which is crazy, right? I'll give you money if you stay and bank with me, which we've never heard of before. So, it's been a real scrappy market, to be honest. The interesting sort of green shoots which I'm seeing, we've got a lot of clients who have gone through the pre-approval process, and what that means is they're getting finance ready to potentially look to buy a property, okay, which is exciting, because the really fulfilling part of my work and our brokers' work is helping clients buy that next aspirational property, whether it's their first property or upgrading their home. And, there's lots of clients now in our pre-approvals who are looking for that next property. So, some real good green shoots there. Yeah, so I think, look, it's interesting. But interest rate wise, like I said before, there's lots of lenders fighting for prime loans, which the interest rates are extremely cheap. So, but on the flip side of that, there's a lot of clients who are really kind of locked in to their lender because they feel that they can't move because of affordability, because affordability now from a servicing perspective has increased. So we've got this little niche part of the market now where there's some solutions-based lenders who have got a little bit more flexibility, and we'll name a couple. Think people like Liberty, who've got this kind of policy which actually helps people refinance to like interest-only repayments, extend term, get cash flow budget back on track. They may pay a little higher percent in interest costs, but the cash flow side of things is certainly way better. So we're doing a lot of work around rebudgeting cash flow, re-extending interest-only terms, things like that. So really husbandry around managing cash flow is the main game for us right now as well.
Yeah, okay. And so what are some of your favourite offers out there at the moment in regards to lenders?
Cool. You put me on the spot because I'm a terrible broker. I've got to read my email I sent myself because I forgot.
You're your own info.
We always love AMP. So AMP have got some really cool offers, cheap interest rates. So they've got, I think they should watch the 𝐁𝐫𝐤𝐤 video. So 514 was their owner occ P&I variable, which is a great rate. One of the interesting things about AMP is, though, if you actually use the equity in your own home to refinance investment debt, they will give you owner occupier rates as well. So that's a top tip for young players. There you go. The other one I've got in here is 𝐖𝐢𝐭𝐡. We always like 𝐖𝐢𝐭𝐡. They've got an investor loan, 549 P&I, and they've also cashback with that, which is pretty cool. And then the other one, which is the old Qantas Credit Union, which is called Kudos now. They had a 499 no frills product, which is crazy cheap, right? But the last one I want to talk about is the self-managed super fund environment, right? Like you said before, I've messed myself up. I'm in st.George Bank with a self-managed super fund. I'm getting my paperwork ready now to refinance, but I've been trapped in an interest rate which is over 9%. I think my last letter, which arrived yesterday, I'm at 9.52%, which is way, way too high for a self-managed super fund loan. My loan-to-value ratio is 30-40% against a great property. My contributions to super are strong. My super balance is good. The rent is covering way in excess of the interest costs on the 9% today. So the cool thing about that is Wealth, which is a new lender to the marketplace, they're currently offering a 6.19% P&I rate, which is pretty cool. So a saving there of over 3.5% if Chris can get his paperwork together. So come and see us for the refi.
You heard it here first, guys. If Chris Booth is doing it, you got to do it. And so what about the property market? What's happening there at the moment?
Yeah, so I mean, that's an interesting one. So we actually went over to Manly the other day. I've got some real estate agents over there they gave me a bit of an insight into where the market's at for themselves. They're doing open homes now where there's a big attendance each week. So there seems to be a lot more demand. There's still scarce amount of stock, which is always troubling. And that's why we've seen property prices really maintain, if not increase slowly over the last couple of months. I believe Sydney property prices have increased, which is quite interesting in this environment where it's a bit of doom and gloom. My gut feel is that as interest rates have now sort of hit the top and people are starting to look at that rebudget and cash flow, I also think with this sort of fixed rate cliff which is coming off, so a lot of clients are coming off 2% rates now, coming on to 6% rates now, they'll maybe reconsider holding that second or third in property in their portfolio. It might just be a stretch too far. So I do feel in the coming months we'll see people considering listing their investment properties, cashing in, recapitalising the balance sheet and doing that. So I think we'll start to see a few more properties on the market, and again that's met with the demand that we're talking about before with our pre-approval. So yeah, I think we'll see an interesting spring for sure.
Yeah, okay. So probably a good time for a reshuffle if it's going to happen.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. So, I think there's still lots of interest there for sure, which is good.
And so what's happening at Lydian HQ?
Yeah, well, that's the most exciting thing, isn't it? So we've welcomed a new broker to Lydian. So we've got a chap called Christian. He's an ex-PT, has been in finance for I think it's a year and a half now, and has learnt his craft, and he's joined the Sydney HQ. So we're really excited to have Christian on board and plugging into some partners in Sydney. Myself and Darren, we went over to the Philippines last month, and I took Kelly along for a holiday. So we went to the Cebu head office for Virtual Business Partners where our staff are, and we were able to ham it up with the operations guys. I drank too much tequila and rum and did too much karaoke, bad singing. So, but that was great. It's great to see those guys as well. They're lovely. And in fact, they've moved into a new office today, which is really cool. So, they're really happy right now. And I was able to take Kelly on a little trip to Boracay on the way there, which if you want a romantic weekend or a few days away, Jackie, I recommend Boracay, yeah? Anyway,
okay,
so
got to find...
And then the last thing was, we hosted our first ever pool competition. Like, not swimming pool, like snooker pool, or pool. Anyway, we did a pool competition at the office, and it was great. We got some hot wings and some beer, and we had a competition. I think there was like 20-odd people in the room, plenty of our partners and our old friends and things like that. We had a great night. So shared out the Lydian caps. Got some good feedback. Actually engaged. We got a couple of new partners join us as well, which was great. So a really nice night. And Andrew's always a great host, as you know. So had a good night there. So that was that was really nice to do too.
So good. It's all coming up roses here at Lydian HQ, hey?
Well, hopefully, I don't know. We're working hard. We're like the duck on the pond. My legs are like this, but we look pretty seamless, I think.
That's all that matters. What's on the outside? Something like that.
And I think, lastly, look, we're looking for new brokers. I think that's one of the biggest things I can say as a close. We've been very successful in engaging some really big national financial planning firms, some big accountancy firms. We've got a new business who's just joined us, who's like part of a property financing business as well, which is interesting for us to partner up with. So, we're a great home for brokers who, just want a little bit of that operations excellence to plug into. Also want a little bit of an extra help with some clients to help as well, which we can do under our partnership program. So we're a great place for brokers.
And also we're fun.
Totally, yeah. Well, you are. I'm a bit old and grey.
I didn't want to say anything. All right. So, well, that's everything. That's our Boothy Bites all done, wrapped up for the month of May. Geez, this time next month, we're going to be in the middle of the year.
I know, crazy. Yeah, well, the next one we'll do will be, I'll be in the Isle of Man, so I'll be doing it from the Isle of Man in England. There you go.
Oh, amazing. Can't wait. Thanks so much, Boothy.
See you later. Thank you, Jackie. Ciao.
Bye.